Hello, everyone. I am Brandon Jewell, and I'm with the Career Technical Education Foundation, and I am here with James Simmons of Simz Productions. Thank you, James, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Tell me about what it is that you do and what it is you do on a daily basis.
Well, I'm the owner of Simz Productions, and we do a lot of corporate videos. We work on films, we work on documentaries, we shoot a lot of TV commercials, really anything video related we do. My primary mission is really, I'm the director of photography. So I handle all the camera equipment, a lot of the lighting equipment. I'm also an editor as well, and I'm also a producer.
So many hats kind of guy.
Oh yeah. In this industry, I always learned that the more things I learn, the more jobs I could do. You know, if I was just a camera operator, especially in these times, I wouldn't be able to do a lot of editing work. So that's where the editing always comes in and it plays. And it's always to be a good editor, you have to be a good shooter. To be a good shooter, you have to be a good editor. So I've always tried to learn as much as I can about the field. And what's nice about that is an average day for me, it's always changing. I mean, sometimes I'm at an edit bay all day, and sometimes I'm like on set all day, or sometimes I'm traveling on an airplane all day. So there's a lot of travel involved, and it's always changing. It's very diverse.
You like that piece of your job, that always changing aspect?
I do. I started out as a news cameraman many, many years ago, probably about 12 years ago. So one thing I liked about that job is I was never stuck at a desk. Something new was always happening. News was breaking. You know, you only had 20 minutes to get something on air to get a live shot. So my whole career has been a lot of running around and not knowing what's going to happen. And I like that about it.
Very cool. So how did you just mentioned you started as a news cameraman.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me how you started on this career path. Like, did it start back from an interest in high school, or where did you start?
Let's see. I was in high school and I grew up in Sacramento County. And I was sitting in class one day and I kind of didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I always liked cameras. I never had a video camera growing up. So whenever someone had one, I couldn't get my hands off of it. I just wanted to play with a video camera. And I didn't know anything about it, but I was in class one day in high school. I think I was a junior, and a guy came in from an ROP program, which is a program similar to CTE Foundation. And he said, I'm not here to talk to you kids who are going to college. I want to talk to the kids that want to learn a skill. They want to learn a trade, start working right away. And that piqued my interest. And he had a whole catalog full of different careers you could learn. And one of them was radio and television occupations. And I was like, oh, I'm really into cameras. But actually my secret is I wanted to be a radio DJ because I thought they were fun. I had bright purple hair. And I was like, they get to play music all day and talk on a microphone. I was like, that's what I want to do. So I showed up to class. And then the first thing he said was, there's no radio, it's just television. I was like, oh, okay. But I started learning television skills. We did a live broadcast every day out of the classroom. And then from there, stop me if I'm going too long, but from there I got a job working at a horse racing facility in Sacramento where I ran camera for off-track betting while I was in school. So I got to be a point where I was running a camera in a classroom, and then I was getting paid to actually do it for real. And I just thought, wow, I can make a career out of this. And then I was going to junior college at the same time because that's what I thought I had to do. I didn't have a lot of direction. So I thought, okay, I got to go to junior college because I don't know, that's what my friends are doing. But then slowly my friends started doing jobs in TV stations. So they got a job at a local Fox station or a local PBS station. And I begged and begged and begged to get an interview. And I got my first job at Fox 40 News in Sacramento. And my job was just to tear scripts all day. And that's what I started doing. But that was only 4 hours a day. So I interned in the afternoon with the photography staff because they went out and did the stories. I was like, that's what I really, really want to do. So I interned for 2 years. I tore scripts. I made minimum wage. And I learned everything I could at that TV station. By the end, I was a floor director, audio director, camera. I learned how to edit on my own. And then I ended up getting a job as a photographer and moving on and working at TV stations for about 10 years.
So at what point did you start your own business?
So I was doing news 5 days a week. And then there was some freelance work that came up for a monster truck TV show, for NASCAR, for different sport, motocross came up. And so on the weekend, I was going out and making more money on the weekend than I was making an entire week being a news cameraman. Mm-hmm. So I started putting together like, hey, maybe I should transition out of news. And then I found if I bought my own gear, I can make even more money. So an opportunity came along for me to take over a TV show called Monsters Destruction that was on the Outdoor Channel. And they said, hey, you want to run this show? And I said, yes, I do. So I quit my job. We had a staff of about 20 people, and we did 60 episodes our first year. And it was kind of the beginning of high definition, so there's a lot of learning curves. There was a lot of different things you were learning. But that's pretty much how I got my start in my own company.
Very cool. So what is it that you really like about the job that you have, like owning your own company and traveling a lot? Just what are some of the few things that really stick to you that you love about your job?
I love the diversity of everything you can do. I love that it's not the same thing every day, like I said before. There's a lot of freedom in owning your company. I kind of make my own hours, which can be good or bad. Sometimes you end up working 18-hour days, and sometimes you sleep until noon. You know, it's what you want to get out of it. I really like that about it. I wish I slept until noon. It's been a long time since I did that. But you can make your own destiny with your own job, which I like. With your own business, you can do what you want to do and create what you want to do. You can work with who you want to work with. Sometimes you don't always have the option. I always say I want to do projects that I'm proud of, that I want to do only, but sometimes I got to do projects that I'm not exactly excited about, but you know, that's the business.
Mm-hmm. So what are some of the skills that you really need to be successful in this video industry?
Experience is number one.
Okay.
Going to film school, you learn a lot about metaphors and symbolism. But in our industry, you need to have the experience. When I call for a piece of equipment out of the van, if I need a C-stand with an arm with a gobo on it, you got to come with that piece of equipment. That's really embedding yourself in a crew, and just experience is what makes you successful. There's no certificate you need to become a filmmaker. I'm sure Steven Spielberg didn't go to college, you know, but it's that, you know, you gotta have that passionate drive to keep wanting to do it. Passion is so huge. The want to do something is so huge. If you don't want to do something, you're probably not going to be successful at it. And a good attitude.
So I'm going to end it the way I always like to end it here is give these students who are watching this, these are mainly high school students that are watching this interview, give these students one piece of advice about how to go forward from where they are in high school on.
Piece of advice. My number one advice would be to definitely intern and learn. And for me, I know that when I was young and I was getting into this world, I was 18, I was 19 years old. The best advice I ever got was from a cameraman. I said I was going to show up one day to intern and follow him around and shoot news stories. And I was 19 years old and I didn't show up. And he told me, he's like, what are you, too cool for school? You know, work at 7-Eleven the rest of your life? And it really was powerful, the too cool for school, because I realized I was always saying, yeah, I know, but I didn't know. Mm-hmm. You know, absorb what's around you and go for it. Passion's huge, and just showing up and being there is 90% of it, and having a good attitude. So that's the advice I'd give to myself, that I think it took me years to realize I was not too cool for school.
All right. Well, thank you very much, James, for joining us today. We really appreciate your time and hope you stay safe. Thanks.
All right. Thanks.